Well, those issues came up for me on the doorstep a fair number of times. I spoke to one individual who'd had 7 men placed in a HMO, which is a home with multiple occupancies next door. Now, imagine you're a single parent, for example, and you have to worry about the welfare and well-being of your children. We've just been talking until the cows come home, rightly so, about the damning indictment on our country from the grooming gang scandal that has enveloped many towns up and down, not just England actually, it's evident in Scotland too. And those issues in the national conversation, why are we still saying that it's acceptable for foreign men who we know next to nothing about, who sometimes throw their documents overseas in order to not be able to verify and prove who they are, how old they are even. And we're saying that people that don't share our culture's views are appropriate to be placed with a pack of them in a house, in social housing or in private rented accommodation, next door to families who are worried about the welfare of their children. You're a pensioner who's just had their winter fuel allowance taken away from them. You get the same thing moving in next door. We will use absolutely every instrument in our power, limited in scope, because we are a local authority. We will use every power we have to stop, to halt, to frustrate attempts to establish HMOs for this purpose, to place people in communities where there isn't democratic consent for them to be placed. The number of correspondence that I've had to my email inbox, which was only established last week, that I only got access to late last week on Friday, is off the charts, with people talking about this one particular issue. There is no consent for them there. It is arrogant in the extreme for the Labour Party to assume that they can place them in the North East as some kind of glorified dumping ground for their inability to control Britain's borders, with some London human rights lawyer in number 10 Downing Street dictating who we have and have not to take. No, we will resist that at every twist and turn. And, if that means me squealing like a little pig outside a HMO, so be it. We will resist it as far as possible. And our chairman has made that absolutely clear, that we will have support from the party to actually be able to use the levers available to us in any way possible. The Labour Party would have to do something revolutionary, and that isn't just giving speeches trying to sound more Nigel Farage than Nigel Farage, right? Sir Keir Starmer says all of that. Does anyone believe he really means what he says? I don't think so. Does anyone really believe that he has a parliamentary party that would be in agreement and actually vote for the kind of measures he was discussing in the first place? Of course, we should be more connected as a nation as far as integration is concerned. That's been a massive problem. Translation costs for local authorities are a problem. Translation costs in education, in healthcare, in social care provision, they're all massive issues. So, yes, we have a massive problem. He identified the problems in that speech he gave. Do voters think, more importantly, that actually Sir Keir Starmer has the political will to sort these issues out? No, we don't. So the Labour Party, they've said they're going to send us a bung in a regeneration fund of some nature. Stanley, which is where I'm from, which is an area I represent, I'm on the town council and I'm on county council in that area. Apparently we're going to get a bung. The people of Stanley will take one look at that and they'll say Northern Powerhouse. They'll say levelling up. They'll say regeneration fund. We've heard all of this before. They always let us down. This isn't exclusively about economic opportunities, which are a problem in areas like ours, as far as disadvantage is concerned, but also the cultural issues that really matter to people, the issues I've just mentioned. The Labour Party of today have moved so far away from Keir Hardie to the party of becoming Keir Starmer, which is one more concerned with human rights law, which actually I think supersedes the rights of the democratic mandate that people give to their parliamentarians. They are the party of religious sectarianism, the party of net zero, the party of mass migration, the party of basically saying that everything that you have, which is increasingly smaller in number, ain't worth a damn. That everything your ancestors fought for, that we celebrated on VE Day, 80 years on, that all of that isn't worth protecting, that rich inheritance that has been handed down to us. Our ancestors ought to be turning in their grave. They have absolutely right to be. So, no, the Labour Party has moved so far away from us that I can't see it happening. We have an unfrozen moment in the county and in other parts of the country to show that we can deliver, that we're on people's side. And that's what I'm going to be focused on with laser-like precision.